Hello, welcome to the second episode of how to make a scoreboard. This part is going to be about how to connect teams to here using VLOOKUP, and here to the first player and the first team. And how we'll do that, you will know in this episode. I'm trying to get this video to like 10-15 minutes, so I won't go to super details, only the basics. So we're going to look at the goals of today's episode. First, you need a list of teams. I'm not going to go through what we did in the last episode, so I'm going to hide it. Or group it, I guess. Now, why did they hide the group option? Very good. There you go. In the previous episode, with the format, team names, players, results, bands, blah blah blah. The UI of those, interface, user interface. In this episode, we're gonna do this: a list of teams, the data, linking teams to the sheet, the scoreboard. No, the teams to the sheet, yes. And linking the first player's scoreboard and linking the teams to the scoreboard. We'll group this as well. So we need first a list of teams. We have that prepared here already. Name, player tag, a bunch of teams here, so it's good. So we're going to use a simple formula called VLOOKUP. Right, here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there's 6 players only, so we can remove these. If you want to use VLOOKUP, you are going to have to do something like you could either use query or VLOOKUP, even though VLOOKUP is easier in this case. So simply put, VLOOKUP is a formula that I'll show you. So to make this thing easier, you need to go here, do like this. And just then do it black probably. Like that. Now if you want to hide it or not, that's up to you. You don't really have to keep this. So you could just do like this if you want. And just paste it, because the formula is still here. Like, see, now it says this name, which is all you need basically. Next step, even though this method is really not the best, still works. It's probably going to be best to use query in this case, because VLOOKUPs can be too hectic. In this case, to pick up data, use query, but to send data, use VLOOKUP, pretty much. What I mean is basically this. So we can move this a little bit. You're going to want to put a query, a range, above all this. Basically, like you highlight everything here. You want to name this range. It should be somewhere here. There, define the name of the range. Let's call it teams, maybe. Yeah, what you can see is that it says scoreboard UI, which is the name here, exclamation mark T3, choose the first column, to V65, which is the last column. That's all we need. Now when you have your range, you want to first off, let's see, start a query by deleting these first. You want to write equal sign query. The data was teams. Before you write this formula, check two things first that will decide which language or syntax you write in. The first one is going to be go to settings. You want to put this United Kingdom. It has to do with how you write the Google Sheets formulas. And calculation, put this every minute and this off. This helps a lot, trust me. And yeah, United Kingdom here. It won't affect anything else, but it's just when you write something, you're going to have to write formulas, you're going to have to use this instead of semicolon, so to speak. It's very helpful, trust me. Alright, so you see when we say just teams in query, it's going to give you the entire list. That's not very useful, so we're going to limit the query and write you see here it says a comma here, or it says comma here. If you want the guide, you can keep the guide boundary and read it. Just write the comma. Now we're in the second element of the query, which is the query. Add what do you call this thingy? Right. Select. You don't need to have capital letters. You could have small letters too. It will still work. Select. So what are we selecting? We want the tags, the player tags. No, we want the player names and the player tags. So basically we want U, and we also want V. And to simplify this, let's just make this black. And I'm going to explain why I did what I did. So you see now that it only shows what do you call it? U and V. So basically it shows everything within teams, U and V. So if that makes sense, like row U and row V, everything within it. It doesn't show anything in T. But we don't really want this name to be here. These names, we don't want them to be in the query because that's annoying. So what we're going to do instead is we're first going to make a drop-down list of all the teams. So we're going to choose data validation, enter a range of formula. We're going to select all of these teams. So what data validation can do is can make it unique, like it's only going to have one of each name. Turn that to your advantage, and what you're going to have is a list of all the team names, which is exactly what we need for the query. Just copy paste it here too, just like that. Alright, so now we have the names ready. We're going to write where. So where is the condition we want? Like what are we going after for the team names? As you can tell right here, we're going after the team name to the left. So what's to the left? It's a name and a tag. We're going to take each. So if we're selecting threat level above, we want this data to show up. So everything to the right of this text is going to be in a query. So we do that by where is the column, it's column T equals sign. Now hang on, this is the complicated part. Like this. You don't need spaces really, but just so you see better. And it's gonna be J3. And then comma 0. This is asking if it has any headers. Keep it to 0 as a general practice. It's gonna make your life a bit easier. You can test get like adding one there, but it's not gonna help much. It depends what your purpose is. So by entering 1, we should technically get this list right here of these players and their tags. So click enter. We get an error. Empty output. See why that is. Alright, so let's post a space here. If you remove the space, it's gonna work. But I will just show you what it is. It's 1 here, a double here, 1 here, double, double. So when you're done with writing it, remove this space, enter, and now you have the working query. To make this look even better, we could make it like this. Your name. Then we can just write player hashtag. Now, do you need this? Not really, but like tag. Then you can just go ahead and fat mark that. I guess you could just do like this too. Merge horizontally. This we can just copy this style. Now we can't. Let's take this. Let's make this a bit lighter actually. A bit darker. Maybe make this a bit lighter. Yeah, that's about good. Now we can just technically just copy this, paste here, copy this, paste format only. So now when you select Dark Alliance, it's going to show all Dark Alliance players. Select another team, it's going to show another team, etc. So let's look at the goals right now. The data is done. Link the teams to the sheet. Done. This is basically the sheet. Done. Link your first player to the scoreboard. We can do it by doing equal sign first player. Equal sign first player. Alright, that's done. And link the teams to the scoreboard. We can do that by doing equal sign here, equal sign here. Now we've linked the names too. And that's about it for this tutorial. How to sort the team name. They can just basically group this, I guess. To hide it, or if you want to put it in another sheet, up to you. So that's about it for this tutorial. If you think it's good, you can subscribe if you subscribe. Also, one thing to note: if you can't delete anything here, it's go to affected query. So you see it got an error right now. That's because you delete something in query. Try to refrain from doing that. So just some general practice. No, totally take it up. Anyways, it says N3, but as you can tell, don't delete anything from columns. Once you've done a query, it's a pain in the ass. In this case, I just had to do like this: delete to 0, and then return it, and then it worked again. But just don't touch it. Just make it like anything. Make it smaller, but try to not touch the columns once you've done a query. Yes, thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe and share the video if you want more. Thank you. Bye.